Hello everyone, how's it going? What's going on? Anything of new? Anything of old? Anything at all? What's up guys? Happy Mondays, to the extent to which it is possible for a Monday to be happy. And well, that's about it. What are we gonna do today? Well, I think it's high time I were just stop beating around the bush and finally started highlighting these guys and moving along. So we're gonna start with the yellow initial highlights. Maybe just a quick brush beforehand. Haven't touched them in a while, and dust seems to just adore miniatures. Might as well give them just a quick dusting so the residue doesn't go over the brush and doesn't create extra texture that we don't want. Yeah, that would be the plan for today. Just see how far we can push this yellow within 8 streams time. I've been extremely lazy over the course of the last week, so haven't really done any painting at all outside of streaming. Bet you can't always do that every single day, right? I mean, you can, but since you don't necessarily have to, you can allow yourself some slow weeks every now and again. So usually what I do is I start off with a mix. Sorry. Voice is starting to die pretty early today. It's a bit colder, that might explain things. Anyway, usually we go for a mix between Uriel Yellow and Arlen Sunset. But since we can just go over with thinner layers, like a bit glazy, and the texturing highlight usually murders pretty much any subtle color transition, we can just skip over to Uriel Yellow at that. And see how that works. Skip a stage and hopefully improve efficiency with minimal costs to quality. Minimal expense to quality. We should thin it down quite a bit. Harlequin Solitaire. Hello, is that your new your new handle, Hubert? It's me, Crickets. Nice. How you doing? Are you keeping up with your exercise routine? Ah, shit. Sorry about that, man. What happened if you want to get into it? That's alright as long as something is done consistently, that's pretty much enough. Unless you want to shoot for the Olympics or something. Yeah, I see. Just do a little bit of something regularly, and things will work out. Something I found out when people start giving lectures and workout advice, it's usually a very strong focus on that, as in you can dedicate most of your day to doing that, which, let's face it, isn't the case for most of us. So take it slow and just be consistent at it, and that'll do it. Get my push-ups. In total random hard level. uh, Push-ups are pretty hard to begin with. Like, even though they are very popular exercise, they are actually pretty advanced. And also, some days you're a little bit more tired, some days you get a little bit more energy. Sometimes your breathing is a little bit off. But again, just keep at it, and things will come. Yeah, exactly. It's just like you're not a machine as much as we would like to sometimes consider us consider ourselves as such. Sometimes you're in the mood, sometimes you're tired, sometimes you're full of energy, sometimes you're properly motivated. There are a ton of factors every single time and every single day. Which is where the consistency comes into play. It's like slowly push up the baseline, improve the baseline to what you can do. And it's annoying. I know. It's frustrating. It's annoying. And more often than not, it's also boring as sin. And then this is how it is. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so you see, there is development and improvement. And also, there's another thing that at some point you're going to hit a plateau. Um, so it's gonna become a lot harder to improve beyond that. Oh, okay. "30-day challenges are usually quite intense." Yeah, that's what I thought. They do get a little bit unreasonable at certain points. And they don't necessarily give you the best possible results, even if you manage to do everything. No, no, it's I understand it. You did say you're doing mostly body weight stuff. Even if you're not heavy, these complexes are just meant to push you very hard. Yeah, yeah. Problem is that the plateau is when you can't really. Mm, you sort of hit a natural stop point for your development. You hit the optimum strength, and then it becomes a bit harder to push beyond it. There's a while to get to that, but just if it happens, to not be discouraged or frustrated. It's just part of it, and it is overcomable. Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's right. Maintain a good muscle tone and consistently repeat. That's pretty much all there is to it. Unless you're going to go to a competition or something. Did you manage to get any painting done? Or have you been dealing with the uni stuff? Not much on the painting. Well, there's no hurry. brush at all. The golden yellow is tiresome as I have different results with it. Try to finish some more models. Yeah, non-metallic stuff, non-metallic metal stuff is usually hard. No matter how much you try to simplify it, it's just... That's why I'm avoiding it quite a bit. Enjoy painting with some depressions on it. Yeah, this is where and how the contrast paint really shines. Like, it really shows its qualities. But we've been over this many times, and it is just the general consensus that it works a little bit better when you're going over a more detail saturated surface, like more recessions and whatnot. Recesses. Oh, really? As in they have too much work, or it's hard to ship things out? How many teams are you waiting to get from them? Because I sort of forgot. Oh my, okay. Hopefully they'll be fine. Few models with them. Mostly human team, and then usable as the Ogre and Blitzer. Okay. Wanted to give him a halfling to complete it. Will not happen soon. Well. Again, hopefully they will recover quickly and without any lasting issues. Oh, did you give them the dragon? Or do you mean that you just sent it to them in 2019? Hell, 18. Holy shit, it's been a while. Ah, sweet. I should paint the dragon. I really, really should. don't have anything to do with him, like use him for anything, but it's a cool mini. And still though, I did put some base coats on the tokens they gave us, so it's not a complete loss. I still haven't finished them, by the way. The turn markers and whatever that the rest of them were. They have a couple more layers of highlights to go, and varnishing. Okay, well, this dude's done. Lady should have been a marker for the vampire team. Yeah, I see that. I see that it'll fit. Full halfling team with shitloads of star players and the orcs. Oh, you gave them the soldier arcs. Thought you were gonna do those yourself. But that's cool. I haven't been able to get to the tree men. Just haven't been doing anything hobby related recently, so that's why. Oh, they're pending. I gotcha. Yeah, I don't think I'll be getting anything more until I get at least a few more done. Yeah, gotcha. Well, yeah, I keep counting them, and I keep forgetting the total count of teams that I have in pieces or lying around here. But it's like maybe 5 teams, something like that. Not counting the ones I'm painting right now. So, what do we got? We got the dwarves, orcs, Skaven. Yeah, pile of shit. Skaven, chaos. So that's 4. And the ogres, 5. I think I got them all. The Amazons, I don't think I'll be using as such. I'll probably look for something else for the Amazons. Was there something else that I'm missing? No, I think that's about it. So 5 teams, yeah. I thought there were more. And the orcs and ogres will be a particularly slow projects to get through, because there will be a lot of conversions and kit bashing. So I don't know if I should go for them first or leave them for last. I think next will be the dwarves. Like the next Blood Bowl team. Next thing to paint will be the Gears of War as the board game. I've already said plenty of times. As far as Blood Bowl, though, I think it's gonna be dwarves. Or ogres, depending on whether or not we'll be doing the whole stunty thing for the World Cup, if for the Euro Bowl, if it were to happen this year. Because nobody knows. Heard some rumors that it's not gonna happen this year either. Try to make teams that are different from each other. In what way? Like, they all have their little kinks. I try to try different things on all of them. Yeah, there's still a lot of time for these things to get clarified, so no need to make a choice yet. Right, yes. Yes. That is what I am trying. So yeah. The Goliaths were an experiment in saturated and desaturated tones. The Bretonnians are an experiment in texture. The dwarves will probably be an experiment in comic style. The ogres will be my first attempt at consistent wet blending, just because they have a lot of surface that is beneficial to that. The orcs, I have no idea beyond the actual building, the actual kid bashing part. I have no idea. I keep thinking about what to do with them, color-wise and theme-wise, and I'm just running a blank. For chaos, I might go for some color shifting stuff. The Gears of War will focus on playing around with pseudo contrast paints and dry brushing, and just trying to get some of them done quicker. Character models I'll still paint like on a 1x1 and more focused. But yeah, I totally try to incorporate as much different stuff and new stuff that I haven't tried out yet as possible, both to keep things interesting and to learn. The Fraggin' Unicorns cyberpunk stuff was delayed again. So it was initially supposed to ship in December, which was insanely optimistic to begin with. But anyway, couldn't be done. Then it should have been shipped in January. But more issues came up. This is their first Kickstarter, so they are learning the ropes as they go. So now they're going for a February shipping date. Who would have thought? Yeah. No, that's I'm not. That's exactly why I'm not worried or angry or frustrated in any way. It's just something that I've been meaning to talk about for a while. It's just I always forget or I'm cut off in some way. So just throwing it out there in terms of models that are waiting to come and be painted. I also have the Joanna project, which will take place who knows when. And she will have quite a bit of airbrushing done on her. So effectively a learning lesson in airbrushing. Also, maybe basing as well. I'll probably try and do a more elaborate base, because she will just be for display purposes. Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, there's the August date for the Wolfenstein Kickstarter to ship. And that's gonna be a hell of a lot of miniatures. Like a hell of a lot of miniatures. Like, the only thing that I would consider getting at this point store streams. Yeah. That is true. The only things that I would consider getting are maybe some things for what was it? Mordheim, if we're gonna get around to starting it. But I'll try to incorporate the Warcry models into it as much as possible and probably just get a few others. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, You mean from the same location or to each his own? Because we got the, the local painter challenges that I'm not really participating in because I cannot organize myself for shit. Alright, okay. So I'll have to sit down and again try to match the Warcry stuff with the warbands and see what I can make them proxy as, and then based on that see what I would need in addition to get a warband going. You said that the Norse... Yeah, absolutely. Could be too a strain. Yeah. No, I'm down for that. And as a matter of fact, many, many years ago, that was actually a practice. No, it wasn't streamed live, but we did used to get together and paint with a group of buddies that we don't see each other that often anymore. But and people may share, yeah, yeah. Like the multi-stream stuff is kind of getting off right now. It's being pretty heavily popularized. And again, there is the local painter stuff. But that requires scheduling and stuff. But it's a good idea, and mm, I'll look into it. I should probably be more active with the local community, the painters group in Facebook, because I'm pretty sure some of them would stream. We could do these multi stuff, and hell, even if you'd like to join in as well, I can show you how to set up stream equipment. It's really not that difficult. Yeah, absolutely. Hmm. I don't know. I'm just always so hesitant to talk to them. That probably shouldn't be. Yeah. So when we do the game stream, I can show you the ins and outs of how the OBS works. Because you can use your phone for a camera, and that will be quite sufficient. No, no, not at all in this way. Quite the contrary, it's actually going to complement very well because contrast paints and the other paints operate in very different ways. So it would be cool to actually cover both sides of the spectrum at the same time, simultaneously. So it would be nice. But yeah, you can totally do a stream with just your phone to use as a camera. Yeah, yeah, I'll show you, and you can then think about whether or not it's good for you or not. It really doesn't require too much juice. It'll be fine. You'll see. Again, when we do the game, you'll see how the whole thing comes together. All right, that's actually 2 guys down. Very nice. Very nice. Third of the way done. So this is one of these stages where, sorry, where the pressure you apply is extremely important, because that is what effectively makes your blending work. And I'm being a little bit too rough, and it is annoying me. Putting a little bit too much pressure, getting a little bit too much paint off, making the transition rougher than it should be. As you can see, pretty much fucking it up. So you either go very slowly or you fuck it up. Or you know what you're doing and you're doing it fast and well, but this is very much not the case. So we're going slowly. And still managing to fuck it up every now and again. But oh well. No, I haven't. A lot of people keep suggesting it. Maybe it's time that I actually do it. It's been a while since I've had an actual book on the nightstand to read. Might be a good idea to start. Okay, I'll check it. Where did you post it? Ah, cool. I'll look into it just in a second. Because I am aware of the basic premise, and I've seen not the oldest movie, but the really dark one. I think we talked about that one. I think was it the second adaptation? Oh, okay, okay. So the first one it is then. Yeah, yeah. Oh, right. So never actually seen that one. So I should probably do that actually. Might not be a bad idea. Currently back on Disenchanted, giving it yet another try. Because there's a new season out. It's okay, but it's a bit rough to watch. It's a bit slow and It's not as punchy as you would expect. It's from The Simpsons, people. The main character controls the spice and becomes the emperor of the universe. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah. Yes, I've seen that one. From a weird Mexican author. Okay. And then there's the one that never came out, I think, or did it? I don't know. I lost count and track. Yes, that's the one. With what was it? David Bowie, and like he had a ton of popular people at the time. Right. Yes. A buddy of mine told me all about it. About the movie, so to speak. Haven't seen it though. I don't know, Dune just sort of flew over my head, and it's a shame because it's a fairly important piece of science fiction. Yeah. Obviously, some of them died, yep. It does tend to happen. Okay, we got that done. Okay. And now for the difficult part, which is making this look solid and reflective. By this, I mean the shoulder pads. We need some edge highlighting. And some bright reflections that are not textured but instead look smooth. Be hard to edge highlight this because the edge is actually pretty rounded. the sculpt has been a little bit soft in this part. Okay. I'm trying to replicate it on this side as well. And then a little bit at the top. This is pretty much the place where I kind of screwed up the last 2 times. Now this is technically the mid-tone, so there will be another layer on top of it. But if it's way too bad, it's gonna show through. And the problem here is that you need to make it look stark, like a stark contrast. At the same time, you want to have it sort of blend in. Like the absolute edges, and I'm trying to do that with a single color. I don't really have the skill to pull it off, so right in here we actually have a different scheme because I shifted. So the lower part of the pauldron here is on the outside is the yellow, and here we have the inside in yellow in order to keep the colors interesting, to switch around the pattern. So the highlights should fall here. No, on the bottom actually. A little bit of a thicker edge highlights on these details, so that when I highlight the edge highlight with the off-white, it'll still have a foundation in yellow, and hopefully will read as a reflective surface, at least on a very, very basic level. So on this side we flip them. So this is what becomes the below part. In order to help me to have control, I keep the paint fairly dry, which means that we have very little working time before it completely dries on the brush and I can no longer deposit it on the model. And that of course means that everything becomes slower and fiddlier to do. But so far so good actually. Okay. And now we do the same thing as on the other side, so we'll make some highlights on the both of the lower parts and the absolute top of the arch. Here we can go a little bit runnier, because it's a bigger surface. Ideally, I would have done it in more layers, more transparent layers, but I don't want to. Yes, we did get together, had a lovely meal. Yep. And then I helped him with some computer stuff. It was nice. It's always nice to see my folks. I don't do it nearly enough, but I like it when it happens. Okay, so I fucked that up a little bit, but no matter. Yeah, well, there is that, but neither them nor me are in any way socially active. So, and we do take precautions, like we don't stand too close together, too close to each other, and we do try. But again, we are fairly isolated from other people, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. Alright, so actually that's this guy done. So we can move on to the next. So halfway through on the yellow. I will, however, strange pictures from the event with people without masks. Yeah. Oh well, I don't know. It's kind of... It's a 50-50, I guess. If it's people that don't really know each other and you don't really know what kind of social exposure the other people have, or you yourself have had some, maybe it's better to play with masks on. But if you're all effectively just living at home, shouldn't be much of a problem. And Blood Bowl is one of those games that actually lend themselves well to distancing, because pretty much both players have their own space, their own side of the board. There isn't that much intimacy, so to speak. Right, so I will take a very short break, just a couple minutes to stretch my legs, and I will be right back. And we're back. And back to doing the stuff and the things. really isn't ideal. See, now the consistency is right, but just because of the pigmentation of the paint itself being fairly weak, nothing really gets deposited. And it's constant back and forward. Okay, this is better. So we actually managed to fix this a little bit on one side and a bit less on the other. So again, because of lack of particular skills, I have to work with very little paint on the brush to maintain control, which means constantly going back and forward to the palette, which makes this very simple process taking a little bit more time than it should. But still, I will most definitely be able to go over the yellows on the rest of the models that are at this stage. Paints and paint. Actually, there is something that is being used that's similar. They're called micron pens. Yeah, I gotcha. There are some micron pens that people in scale modeling use, as well as the gunpla models. They are mostly used for panel lining, or where you need a very thin and very precise line. So technically there's something similar to that. But yeah, I see what you mean. It would be convenient. But then you would need to also be able to control how much paint is pushed into the brush. So that makes the mechanism a bit harder to create and maintain. And it becomes this whole thing. That is basically the concept of the micron pens and the just Sharpies and pens in general. I'm going with even thinner paint just to smooth out the transitions a little bit. Even though just from the fact that I went perpendicular to the detail, you can see that it kind of works. There's a decent blend, even though technically it's pretty rough. It's alright. It's not great, but could have been worse. Miniature servo monkey paint holder. Yeah, that'll do it. If anything will do it, that will certainly be it. Right. And now we're back to the shoulder pads. Should wash my brushes. There seems to be a little bit too much paint. Dried paint buildup. Okay. Now let's thin this down a little bit. And do the wider reflective surface parts. Possibly without ruining the brown on the leather gloves. And extend it just a little bit towards the edge. There, that's nice. Then we start from middle section, central section. Again with a little bit of extension towards the edge. That actually worked out pretty well. Here, maybe a bit too thick, but what are you gonna do? And sorry about the shake cam. Alright. Now the other side. This dude is done, well, at least with the mid-tone on the yellow of his armor. We'll need to do the same with the green afterwards, and then apply the texturing highlight on both colors, and then we have the metallics, and it should be good to go. So, albeit minor, progress is being made. Again, starting off with a little bit of an edge highlight. Catch the bottom angle, sort of extend it into the edge highlight. Same thing on the other side. And to finish things off, we'll do the same top. And we'll need to extend it into the edge highlights from both sides. So from the bottom, well, they're technically both bottom, but you get them drift. And that should be good enough. Yeah. When we move into this thing with the off-white, it's going to emphasize the sharpness. Yeah, I noticed it's a bit desolate, but I have been doing pretty much the exact same thing over the course of, what now, 2.5 months, so it's understandable. No worries. We'll make it up with YouTube views. Have you checked out how that's going? Usually the only view is my own when I just check to see if there is a problem with the audio quality. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's alright. Oh, okay. That actually counts as a view, so nice. I'm actually having fun, so regardless. I suppose. No, it's really not a race or like a massive ambition. Yeah, I know. It's alright. It gets where it gets, and it's based on the amount of effort I am willing to put into it. So I have no worries with that. At the same time, last week was pretty pretty busy. Quite a few people showed up. So on to the knights. And they are a little bit trickier with the larger surfaces that we need to go over. So this is a quasi feathering effect where you draw the straight line where you want the color to be saturated, and then you feather out, or in this case feather in the small perpendicular lines. And it sort of helps the paint smooth out. Call it quasi because I shouldn't be doing this with the paint still on the brush. Should put more paint on the actual model, and then with just a wet brush smudge the paint around. But that would take too long. Don't worry about the spills over the green. This is precisely why we're going with the yellow first, so that when we go with the green afterwards, it'll cover up easier, as opposed to the other way around. So it's fine. This site. this side was actually quite a bit better than what I did here. We're just gonna have to live with it. Okay, so let's just grab the next crease of the cape. Is this a cape? It's kind of a cape. Nah, it's not a robe, it's not a cape. Yeah. Either way, the point is we're moving along the creases, highlighting the highest points. So I'm just blending down a little bit. Something like a robe, yeah. Kinda. Because it does open at the bottom, but it seems to be solid at the top. It's an odd piece of clothing. Oh, it's way too thick. How's that? More better. Yeah, something along those lines. Because it's not like just a tabard, because for instance, this is a tabard, where it's just a dick and ass flop. But when it's longer than that, and it's not just covering the back, so it's not a full-on cape. Yeah, it's a robe. Let's call it a robe. And we're gonna have to go on the other side as well, because we're getting a bit too much of the shadow tones. But let's finish up this particular direction. Technically, I could do some glazing with the original base color and blend a little bit these transitions, but probably not gonna happen. This is almost a dry brush now. Because at the end of the day, we do want texturing for this material. So it doesn't have to be creamy smooth. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. The driver. You're in the dry brush now. Yep, kind of. Just a little bit more controlled than it would have been if I were to just dry brush the whole thing. No way. Was it Status Quo, the original? I think it was Status Quo. Okay, so let's extend in this direction now. Boland and Boland, okay. British rock band was internationally successful in 1980. Yep, Status Quo, okay. Close enough. I don't think I've ever heard the actual original. Which is probably why I assumed Status Quo were the writers. Okay, this is good. Yeah, I think all of the versions that we hear on the radio and whatnot are always status quo, but that's fine. How much more different could it possibly be? Yeah, sorry. So, like I mentioned, I wanted to use whatever models I have for Warcry, which are the Untamed Beasts. And I think we talked together that the closest thing to those models in Mordheim would be Norse Warband. So what I need to do is go see the actual positionals, like the members of the warband, see what I can adapt from the ones or from the models that I have, and just get a few other ones to fill up the ranks. So I can use them for both Warcry as intended and Mordheim when it comes to it. And if we if we get into it more seriously, I can look into making some just Mordheim specific warbands. I'm gonna paint those up anyway. It's just for list building purposes to check what I'll need extra. Because they're kinda Norsey looking. Chaos Possessed, yeah, but I don't have basic cultist like dudes for fantasy. So that's probably where I'll need to, what I'll need to look for. The the playlist ended. Alright, so just one more. The robes get itchy and they throw them away. That's an option. Yep. So the only problem is that they are very jacked. Like, I think I've shown them before. Let me find a quick screenshot to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's check those out. Alright, so this is what we're talking about right here. This dude, this chick, this dude, and then there is these two. So yeah, it's a 50-50 on chaos, like some burly type of chaos, or Norse. But they look a little bit too elite Oh, there's the whole bunch of them. More Norse-like, right? Even though their weapons are like bone, made of bone and stuff. I don't even know if this guy is included. Maybe just these four. But I think he's there as well. Ah, he's there. Yeah, okay. So for probably again would be the lowest ranking troops that I need to find models for. And maybe did they have a Yeti or something like that? Anyway, I'll just need to look through the list of thingies that they have. Pick up some models. But I do want the whole theme. Wolves. It shouldn't be too hard to get some wolves. Maybe 3D printed. Yeah, it's okay. I'll check. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That I need to just go in and have a look uh, in the rule book. But these are the models that I will be doing the warband around, so I need to adapt them to something that's similar. That they wouldn't look out of place as proxies. Alrighty. Let's go over this dude. I'm not gonna start on the green today. Because I don't think I'll have the time to finish it on these 6 dudes. I will start on the green base coat. And wherever we get, we get. And then next time we'll do the green highlights and some more base coats. Then the texturing highlights on both the yellow and the green at the same time because it's the same color. And then the metallics, and then we can call this batch ready for basing. And by the time that happens, the last batch will probably be base coated and shaded. So I can go through the whole ordeal with them as well, and then just do the basing on all of them, do the numbering, which is gonna be a bit weird because they're more than 16, so I'll have to make up the numbers with decals of single digits and put them together. I don't know how well that'll look, which is why I haven't started doing it yet. So we're good. Moving along, especially if I manage to get a few hours off stream every week. They should go quite quickly. Because I think by this point I am pretty much in the rhythm of them. So it's more along the lines of just going through the motions rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. So put up some longer format YouTube video or something silly to watch. We'll see. Keep planning to do some painting on the weekends. I just sit down and paint through the whole day. That never seems to happen. The reason why is that every weekend, like every Saturday, when I wake up, it's like I've been in a fucking coma. Just the rapid decompression from the week's stress buildup just makes it so that when I wake up, it's like I'm in a different dimension. And by the time I shake it off, it's usually evening. And I prefer to just sit back and watch some movies rather than do anything productive. And then I curse myself that I haven't done anything over the course of the whole weekend. And then the cycle repeats itself every single time. I'm pretty much relying on the work days for my productivity, because the weekends tend to go off the chain real easy. Yeah, that's the problem. You really, because every single time you start telling yourself that next time will be different, and it's very easy to lose track. Yeah, I got you. I would like to be more productive, even if it's just for my leisure activities. It's just this is mostly also why I constantly keep postponing games and stuff. I'm inadequate. I just need to fix my sleeping schedule. I think this will make things a lot easier. But then again, that's also something I've been telling myself for forever. I haven't been able to pull off. But I'm doing little things here and there, trying to improve. last week I actually managed to go to bed pretty decent, not too late hours or not too early hours in the morning, but then again just insomnia hits and I toss and turn for 3 hours before falling asleep, and I end up again with like 3 or 4 hours of sleep a day. And that ain't good. Especially considering that after work I do work out, so physical exhaustion builds up, stress builds up. I hope this week will be a little bit better than last week in terms of me sleeping. Should make things easier. And there's no, like, immediate problem that makes me restless or anything. It's just it's not even bullshit. It's really nothing at all. That's the weirdest part of it. It's literally just creating a healthier habit to go to sleep. Anyway, when and if I manage that, I'll let you know. Yeah, meditation is a weird one. Like, I understand what you mean by it, just clearing your mind so that your brain can shut off for sleep. I have been reading up on some things like the hardest thing to do that can help this whole process is not staring in front of a screen for like a couple of hours or an hour before going to bed. That seems to be the most difficult thing to do. Apart from that, you got dedicating your bedroom to sleeping only, meaning don't lie down to read in your bedroom, so that your body immediately recognizes what it needs to do when you lie down in your bed. Things like that. And not staring at all, that's just out of the impossible at this point, I think. Okay, so that is actually us done with the yellers. Awesome. Yeah, there are things you can do, and I'm trying them out. Hopefully, in the long run, it'll work out. Anyway. Right, so how are we doing on time? Okay, so I'll take another little quick short break for leg stretching purposes and be right back, Rooney. Sup? We're gonna be putting some WA Flash as base coat. Yikes, keep forgetting this weight difference. Because I've got these paint pots that I use as paint holders, and they're plastic and effectively almost weightless. And then there are these that are actually glass, a lot thicker and heavier, and I keep forgetting which one is which. And, let's just say there's been a lot of mini dropping. Anyway, for the next project, I think I'll be sticking to the glass ones because they give me a nice counterweight feeling. They feel nice to hold. Let's get the big old brush out. Full and empty bottles, yeah, it happens. When you're not prepared for the weight, even if it's a small difference, it happens and then you feel particularly dumb. Oh, well, you know, to each his own. Sadly, as a base color, this green is fairly light. Especially over the gray primer, so multiple coats will need to be applied. It's not gonna be a one and done. Type of deal. There are a few areas where I need to put another layer of yellow as well, but it's gonna have to wait. There are still a few places where the primer shows itself. And sorry for smacking the camera again with the handle of the brush. Let's put them down to... Oh, we have a sleeve we missed. Right, let them down to dry. Pick up the next. Oh, that's way too thin. Don't want to have to do too many layers after all. Oh, sorry, dude. Okay. Thanks for coming along as usual, and have a lovely rest of your evening. I probably won't be too long either. Just gonna paint some more green and call it a night. So back over to the first one. For another cover. Right, so these guys done. Two left to go, and then the ogre. Who needs to get some lovin'? By that I mean put paint on them. So second do-over on these guys, and then off to the ogre. Alright, so we'll go over the ogre to complete the greens and just call it. Alright, everybody, I think that'll be it for tonight's stream. Thank you all, as usual, for coming along and hanging out. I will be almost certainly back on Wednesday. Until then, have a lovely rest of your evening, and don't forget to do what you love and love what you do. I've been BrettsNobles, signing out. Bye, guys.